Question 2b is asking us to use the total number of patrol activities. That's the information that you gathered for question 2a. And using that information, you're going to calculate, and remember, calculate means get your calculator out and you're going to have to do some math. And you want to calculate the total hours of obligated time. And at the very end, you're going to round that answer to a whole number. And it says using the time study results shown in the project data set. So once again, you're going to have to go to your project data set and get some information from that data set, and you're going to have to sort through a lot of information to figure out what time you actually need for this time study result. And as I do the calculations, what I get in the very end is basically how much time does it take per activity, per officer, over a year's time. And at the very end, when you multiply the time it takes per activity, and then you add up all the activities together, you're going to get your total time. As I reveal the answer to you, once again, I used a table, and I have a column known as activity type, number of patrol activities, time from study, and then the total. So as I add the activity types in there, I just copied and pasted that information from above. So you don't have to retype it. Literally just copy and paste the table, and then you want to add additional columns to the right. I put the multiplication symbol in an additional column. That's up to you. You may do it differently. And then your time from the study. So what this is saying is that calls for service part 1, there is 2,701 of these activities per year. So it takes on average 3 hours for an officer to complete a part 1 activity. So you take your total number of activities and you multiply it times the time it takes, and that answer comes out to 8,103. And you do that for the same for all the activity types and the different amounts of time. So it's the average time it takes per call type. You do your multiplication across the rows and you get your answers. And then at the very end, you are going to add up your total. And I came up with 23,637. Again, you want a whole number at the end. Please do not round your decimals earlier in the equation because your answer will be off. So round the total number to a whole number, and round mathematically correct, which means if it's 0.5 or above, you round up, and if it's 0.4 or below, you round down. And what this final answer is telling you for question 2b is that your total obligated time for your officers to respond to calls throughout the year is 23,637. And what is that unit of measure? It's hours. So we're talking hours, 23,637 hours to be reactive or responding to calls for service. And that's question 2b.